What's up, my comic comrades? Back in September, we did an episode covering the kickoff of Maestro Hulk, a brand new miniseries written by Maestro Hulk co-creator Peter David. Said series is giving us the long-awaited origin of how the Hulk became Maestro Hulk. And today we're continuing to break down this series with issues 2 and 3. But if you haven't read issue 1, we tell you everything you need to know in this video right here. With that out of the way, like I always tell you guys at the beginning of our pull list episodes, there's going to be spoilers for the entirety of the Maestro Hulk series thus far. So that's your warning. But with that said, let's talk some Hulk. Getting right into it, issue 2 picks up exactly where issue 1 of Maestro left off, with the Hulk looking at a very dystopian Earth, thinking of how the humans did this, destroying each other in World War III. We even see the Hulk saying to himself, I prayed he was exaggerating. I mean, MODOK is a bad guy. Bad guys lie. Kind of what they do. I've known so many bad guys and so many good guys, and they all knew me. Or at least they thought they did. Hell, we all think we know each other. We even think we know ourselves. But the truth is, we know nothing, knew nothing. I should really start getting used to referring to humanity in past tense. Because I have to say, when it came to the subject of obliterating itself, humanity was remarkably thorough, as the Hulk stands up and the next page gives us a wide shot of the Hulk standing on top of Mount Rushmore, which has been destroyed. The Hulk then continues making his way around the country by jumping, and we see that the Hoover Dam got annihilated, which led to several towns miles away being flooded. We also see most of Las Vegas laid to waste. Even the national parks are inhabitable, as everything in this world became toxic with radiation, so anything the animals ate was poison, which killed them. The comic then shows us Hulk's soft side as tears roll down his face holding a dead animal, saying they didn't even understand why the things they were eating were poison. Hulk then says, I'm reminded of all the humans who believed in God, who thought they were going to walk in the kingdom of heaven if they just obeyed his word. People who believed that God had a plan. As he looks up to the sky with a pissed off face saying, screw you, God, you and your plan. Don't like my attitude? Come and get me, as he leaps into the sky. The Hulk continues making his journey across the country, saying, no matter where I go from coast to coast, all I see is evidence of human stupidity. And there was no greater source of that stupidity than here in the nation's capital. As we see the Washington Monument completely destroyed, along with the Lincoln Memorial. But as the Hulk is looking at what's left of the Lincoln Memorial, he sees a kid with some kind of breathing device running away, to which he says, the hell? My God, who the hell is that? He seems okay. Certainly isn't dying, so that's a plus. I'm not sure if he's running away from me or towards something else, or maybe both. The Hulk then follows him and sees the kid go underground through a secret door, at which point, of course, the Hulk follows him. The trapdoor then leads the Hulk underground to what looks like a sewer system straight out of the Ninja Turtles, and as he starts following the boy, a bunch of guns and lights start pointing at him with someone yelling, halt, to which the Hulk says, oh perfect, okay wait, hold on, I have an itch right there. It's driving me nuts. Focus your fire there. That'd be great, thanks, as he turns around showing them his back. Essentially, he was low-key being like, hey guys, do you really think gunfire is gonna hurt me? As he makes this joke, a voice says, very amusing, Dr. Banner, we fought many years ago, but I looked quite different then. Machine Man, but you can call me Aaron. Welcome to the bunker. I would invite you to stay, but our resources are limited and would preclude your needs. Hulk then replies, looking good, and Machine Man says, yes, well, being immortal will do that to you. And Hulk says, oh, I don't know, I'm immortal and I look like crap. In any case, Machine Man then starts showing the Hulk around, eventually showing him the White House, telling him that the president and vice president are dead along with the cabinet Congress. Essentially, the entire concept of government is deceased. Now there's just survivors. Machine Man then takes the Hulk to their security room where they have tons of monitors and computers connected to cameras watching all over the country. Machine Man then starts telling the Hulk basically these quarters were populated by the descendants of White House employees who escaped down here while the bombs started flying. We have enough supplies to last another 17 years, although I calculated that your likely calorie intake would drop it to 3.9. Basically, we learned that this wasn't a sewer system at all that the Hulk followed the boy into, but the secret underground tunnels built under the White House for the president. In any case, Machine Man and his people then bring up Dystopia, formerly known as New York City. He tells the Hulk it was constructed by its overseer. He goes by the name Maestro. It's Italian for master. So for anyone wondering what Maestro meant, thank you, Machine Man. Hulk then replies, I know what it means. You don't have to worry about me eating your rations. I gotta meet this guy. Hulk then leaves, leaping his way across the country to find this Maestro, saying to himself, Maestro is the nickname I picked up in college because I was so far ahead of everybody. But midair, the Hulk starts feeling dizzy, saying, what's wrong with me? Having trouble focusing, as he crashes into the ground. He then starts sitting up, saying, so it seems I may have my limits. I thought I could just absorb the ambient radiation, but even my body needs time to heal, I guess. Maybe I just need to rest for a little bit. But as he says this, he looks up to the sky saying, oh my God. He continues to say as he looks at a swarm of bugs, it was always predicted that once humanity went extinct, only cockroaches would survive. It seems the radiation only spread that along, as these cockroaches or bugs start attacking him, tearing into his flesh. But luckily for the Hulk, someone with some sort of sonic wave gun is able to fend off the bugs, saving the Hulk. But before he could say thank you, he collapses to the ground. They then pick up the Hulk's body, put it in their truck, and take him to the camp. When he wakes up and heals from his wounds, he's greeted by Boz. He then shows the Hulk around, saying, saying we call ourselves the Wasteland Survivalists. We are endeavoring to restore nutrients to the ground in order to grow crops. We have had sufficient success so far, but we dream of greater. And as they get to the high point of their camp, Hulk sees Dystopia. While looking at it in the distance, Hulk asks Boz, "Tell me about the Maestro." He replies, "They say he's a god." Hulk then says, "Now I really gotta meet him." The comic then takes us to some facility where an old man only referred to as Gramps at this point in time is sitting in Professor X's hover chair playing the harmonica. But not only that, the room he's in is full of memorabilia and or trophies from heroes who have died, like Spider-Man's mask and web shooter, Thor's hammer, Magneto's helmet, Wolverine's entire skeleton, Vision and Warlock's head, and freaking Beast's fur hung up on the wall like bearskin, even Winter Soldier's metal arm and Silver Surfer's board. There's a crap ton of Easter eggs in this panel. You guys should definitely stare at it and play Where's Waldo picking out all the Easter eggs. Because let me just tell you, I didn't name everything that's in this panel. In any case, a young girl then starts saying, "Gramps, Gramps." He then says, "Damn it, Janice, I almost had it," meaning this is probably Janice Jones, which also means this could be Rick Jones, aka Hulk's best friend. She then tells him, "You need to know this. He's back. That green guy you used to love." He replies, "Oscar the Grouch?" She's like, "No, the big hulking guy." And he says, "The Hulk?" She's like, "Yeah, that's it." The Cord said he walked right into town square, big as life. The comic then shows us the Hulk has made his way to Dystopia, formerly known as New York City. While making his way through the city, people keep stopping him saying, "What are you?" But ultimately someone asks, "Are you the Hulk?" And he says, "Who wants to know?" The man replies, "I am the minister. The Maestro dispatched me to bring you to him." On the way there, Hulk says, "Who is this Maestro?" The minister replies, "He is our God." Hulk says, "Yes, I've heard that. Where did he come from?" The minister replies, "Wherever gods come from." The Hulk finally says, "You're being less than helpful." Once inside, the minister says, "Maestro, your visitor's here." And from behind a giant red curtain, he says, "Is it him?" He says, "I believe it is." Maestro then comes out from behind the curtain saying, "Banner, it's been ages," revealing the Maestro is Marvel's Hercules as the issue ends. But there's a 3-page backup story that's part 1 of 3 titled Relics. In said story, we see Janice Jones, Rick Jones' granddaughter, which confirms that the Janice from earlier is Janice Jones, meaning that that Gramps guy is in fact Rick Jones. But anyway, Janice is with a character named Decord looking for weapons of fallen heroes. Decord literally has Captain America's shield on her back and they find Thor's hammer. Decord isn't able to lift it, so Janice gives it a shot and it turns out she's worthy, which I don't know how I feel about all these characters being worthy lately, but I guess it is what it is. They had to figure some way for it to be picked up and brought back to Rick Jones to be kept in his trophy room, but this brings us to issue 3. The issue starts off with Hercules welcoming the Hulk, with the Hulk saying, "Hercules, you're the Maestro?" He replies, "I am indeed, Banner. By Zeus, it is good to see you." He then runs over to the Hulk and picks him up, hugging the Hulk. Hercules says, "I thought you were dead. Where have you been?" He replies, "MODOK had me on ice." He then punches the Hulk so hard he flies out of the castle. Hercules is all like, "You've gotten rusty, Banner. I thought you could take a punch." Hulk, while laying on the ground, then says, "Bloody hell," and pops his jaw back into place. Hercules then charges him again, but the Hulk blocks this time, saying, "That hurt you, Olympian oaf," and this time punches Hercules back, sending him flying. Essentially, they start having a sparring match as Hercules is happy to fight someone who's giving him a challenge. He even says, "With no one to oppose me, I feared I lost my edge. My deepest thanks for helping me shed those concerns," as he breaks the ground beneath Hulk, causing him to fall underground. Now underground, the Hulk says, "I'm gonna kill him. He's going down." But before he can finish his sentence, the Cord and Pizfiz come out introducing themselves to the Hulk saying, "Rick Jones wants to see you." He then turns around and says, "What did you just say?" Meanwhile, on the surface, Hercules is thanking the Hulk for the sparring session, saying, "By God, that was glorious. I hope you did not misunderstand, Banner. That was simply my way of doing you honor. Come now. I have a number of robust women who would like to make your acquaintance, and the best food in the region." But once Hercules looks down to where the Hulk fell, he sees that he's gone, saying, "Well, this is most irritating." Meanwhile, Hulk makes his way back to Rick Jones, who is still in that Jim Lee-style Professor X hover chair. Rick says, "This is Janice, my granddaughter." She then checks the Hulk to see if he's clean, which he is, and he says thanks. After the Hulk and Rick Jones briefly catch up as old friends do, Rick says, "I hear you ran into Hercules, or the Maestro as he's called now." Hulk says, "Are we sure it's really him and not a Skrull imposter or something like that?" He replies, "Oh yeah, it's him, but he's changed. He only cares about sex, partying, and living like there's no tomorrow. But the city's full with ordinary people just trying to survive, and he doesn't give a crap about them at all." Hulk says, "Ordinary people? He doesn't care about them?" Rick says, "That's right," and Hulk replies, "Why should he?" Rick's like, "What?" The Hulk continues to say, "This room is full of trophies you've been maintaining. All these heroes fought on behalf of ordinary people, fought against the schemes of villains to rule them. Ordinary people destroyed the world, Rick, not the leader, not the Red Skull. None of the villains we fought and died against. Ordinary damn people brought it down around their bloody ears," as he starts throwing things around the trophy room. Also, I need to pause and point out that they're using Silver Surfer's broken board as a coffee table. I just need to throw that out there. And again, keep looking around this trophy room or whatever you want to call it, as there's tons of Easter eggs like the Destroyer helmet and others. Hulk then gets in Rick's face saying if Hercules had any brains, he would lay waste to all the ordinary people. Just mow them down. Give me one good reason why anyone anyone should care about ordinary people. Rick then says, because Betty was one, so was Marlo, and me, and once upon a time, so are you. Hulk's essentially like, whatever, and while walking out, he says, they're sheep, Rick. That's all they are. That's all they're good for. They should be ruled with an iron hand, used to form an army that could bring unity to the world. Rick then says, under whose rule? Yours? Hulk replies, we could do worse. And before Hulk leaves the room, Rick tells him, you sound like Dr. Doom. Hulk finally says, maybe Doom was onto something. I need a lab. Rick then says, you could use what's left of Alchemax, which was a scientific center before science stopped mattering. Once there, Hulk leaps inside, taking a look around to see what he could use. Eventually, he sees a sign that says lab rats. He then says, that sounds promising. I mean, even if it's literal, that could be promising. Cyber rats, those would be useful weapons. And when he makes his way inside, he says, holy cow, I just struck the mother lode. As he sees a bunch of bodies kept in some sort of cryostasis chambers, he then cracks his fingers saying, well, I know what I'm going to be doing for the next few months. We are then taken back to Maestro's kingdom where he's about to get it on with one of his ladies before the minister informs him that he found the Hulk. So of course he drops the girl and gets on his futuristic scooter thing, making his way towards the Hulk. Meanwhile, the Hulk is on top of a building talking to all the people of Dystopia, saying, I am told you were ordinary people. Well, I don't believe that. Ordinary is a term assigned to you by those who believe they are your betters. But I have seen what ordinary people can do. Ordinary people created vaccines that saved the lives of millions. Ordinary people took us to the moon. Ordinary people saw not what was, but what could be. Ordinary people made themselves extraordinary because the leaders told them where to go and what to do. And I am prepared to do that. There's a world beyond dystopia. I have seen it and rode across it, and I'm ready to rule it. With your help, we could build this country up and make it greater than it ever was. Let me give you a glimpse of what I can provide. He then proceeds to show them a bunch of dogs of war, as he calls them, that look like Ravage from Michael Bay's Transformer films. He's all like, these dogs of war will do the fighting, they will be our army, and all you have to do is clean up behind them. Who will join me? Who will leave this city behind and dream of taking the entirety of the country, of making it greater than ever dreamed? Who's with me? And the people are like, no way, big green guy is nuts, the hell with that. The Hulk then looks down at them saying, fine, have it your way, sick 'em, as he sicks his war dogs on the people, with the final page of the comic showing us Hercules arriving saying, now we have a ball game. Then in the backup story, part 2 of Relics, we see how Wolverine died in this possible future. A Sentinel literally disintegrated all the flesh from his bones, disintegrating every last bit of his cells so that he can't regenerate, only leaving his adamantium lace skeleton. Now clearly this Relic story takes place in the past because Rick Jones already has Wolverine's skeleton in his room. And Rick looks a whole lot younger in this panel, and he's with his wife. They're out gathering anything they could find from fallen heroes, and when Rick goes to put Wolverine's skeleton inside of a duffel bag, him and Marlo were greeted by rival scavengers. They end up pointing a gun at Rick, and Marlo takes out her shotgun and shoots one of the thugs, saying, idiot. She then says, Rick, hurry up, I don't want to have to do this by myself, while going to pick up Wolverine's skeleton. But as she does, Rick screams, Marlo, but it's too late. The guy she shot was able to shoot her through the head before he finally dies, and the story ends with Rick holding Marlo in his arms. But there you have it, friends, issues 2 and 3 of Maestro. I gotta say, the first issue of this series didn't impress me all that much. I believe I said that when we were breaking down the first issue. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't like mind-blowing or anything. But now things are finally starting to ramp up. I mean, by the end of issue 3, Hulk is finally starting to transform into the Maestro. And we know ultimately he's gonna dethrone Hercules and become the Maestro himself. I love knowing how the story ends and then getting the origins of how we got there. But yes, if you're a Hulk fan or just a big comic fan in general, I highly recommend reading this story for yourself to get all the little nuances. Again, issue 1 was a little slow, at least for me, but issue 2 and 3 have definitely picked up and the story is in full swing now. But as always, we want to know what you guys think. What do you think of Maestro so far? Let us know in the comment section down below. First up for the week of December 9th, we have Strange Academy issue 6. What happens when the students of Strange Academy face the ancient evil order called the Hollow in the swamps of New Orleans? Nothing good, that's for sure. Next, we have Venom issue 31. Eddie Brock finally comes face to face with the Lord of the Abyss, the King in Black, Null. Next, we have Batman issue 104. Ghostmaker is living up to his spectral name as Batman scours Gotham City for any trace of him. But this deadly new vigilante is going to prove a bloody point to the Dark Knight by murdering both the Clown Hunter and Harley Quinn. That is, unless they kill each other first. And finally, we have Tales of the Multiverse Flashpoint issue 1. Spinning out of the events of a world where a single choice by the Flash affected the entire DC universe, find out what would happen if Barry Allen had not put things right. In a world where the Flashpoint reality was never undone, where Thomas Wayne still haunts Gotham City as Batman, and the Amazonian and Atlantean armies still prepare for war. Will the Reverse Flash embrace this darker, deadlier world and finally eclipse Barry Allen's legacy? And just like that, my comic comrades, that brings today's episode to a close. But if you enjoyed today's video, be sure to check out this one right here. And if you like all of our content, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. It always helps us out. But I'll see you guys next time when I talk about all things comics.